Hello, hope y'all are all doing well. It's March 9th. It is Thursday, and I hope y'all are all having a great week. Today I'm going to be talking about several things once again, okay? So we got a lot to talk about. Going to be talking about winter storm for areas of the kind of the Great Lakes and into the Northeast as we go into tomorrow and Saturday. And I'm going to be talking about another potential winter storm in those areas later this weekend into next week. And then I'm going to be talking about pretty much a severe weather side of that storm system because we will be looking at the potential threat for severe weather with this system as well. So yeah, I hope you are all doing very good. And currently, let's go and get started. So currently, northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, southwestern Wisconsin areas, we are seeing a little bit of snow. Okay, so looking at northern Illinois here, northwestern Illinois, Davenport, we're seeing snow. Rockford, even over to DeKalb, almost into the Chicago area, we are seeing snow too. That line is right on Chicago. And you can see, yeah, according to radar, Chicago it's not snowing in Chicago. But we do have some NPing reports just outside to the west and north of snow, but it's snowing near Aurora, Wheaton, and Illinois there. And then that snow is also now extending all the way over into Michigan and like southwestern Michigan and northern Indiana as well. Further west into areas of eastern Iowa, the Quad Cities area, Davenport, and then up into like Dubuque, Waterloo, Cedar Rapids, we are seeing some snow. As you go further north into Wisconsin, up towards like the Madison, Milwaukee area, we're seeing a pretty good accumulating snowfall in those areas actually, and that does extend further north. So total snowfall, kind of these are just snowfall reports from the past 6 hours. You go to the past 12 hours, we probably should have a little more. Yes, we saw about a good 1 or 2 inches in the Omaha area generally. To the south of town, though, there's several reports of 2.5 to 3 inches. And then up into Iowa, a lot of reports of kind of 3 to 4. And then eastern Iowa, we are looking at a lot too. Cedar Rapids, 4 inches, 5-inch reports in some places. Northern and western Illinois, Galesburg, 1.8, up towards Rockford, 1.8. And it's still snowing in these areas too. Keep that in mind. So we are going to see a little bit more additional accumulation. Not many reports from southern Wisconsin, but earlier we did have a 1/2-inch report in southwest Wisconsin there, and then southeastern Minnesota and further north in the Wisconsin we have some reports of a couple of inches as well. Relatively new reports. So yeah, as we go throughout tonight, we can see that snow line doesn't really make it any further east or south in Illinois, but then eventually though the Chicago area does cool down just enough to switch over to snow. Probably about, could be looking at that about like 9-10 p.m. tonight. That happens, and then it's just gonna we're gonna start to lose some of our precip. We'll have snow kind of lingering all the way into tomorrow morning, moving east into northern Ohio, Cleveland area. We'll pick up some snow from the Minnesota, Toledo area, even Detroit, and then that moves into the northeast during the northeastern event. Total snowfall. Now, some of these amounts in this area here are going to be a little higher because this is an older run, or this is actually a newer run. My bad. This is the 23Z. It's just coming out. I want to go back to the 22Z. And yeah, so like a good 6 to 7 inches in the Milwaukee area there. And the reason I'm not like saying we're going to see like as much, it has like about 10 inches there. I don't think we're going to see 10 inches just because the temperatures are so close to freezing. We're going to be seeing very heavy wet snow. We're going to see compacted and that type of stuff. I don't think we're going to see 10 inches, but we'll definitely see like at least a good 6 inches in some areas of just really heavy wet snow. Probably a good 5 to 6 inches in some places, localized areas. We do actually have a little bit colder areas going into Michigan, which is pretty interesting there. So over into the northeast now. Okay, this is tomorrow. 10 a.m. We're starting to see that snow into areas of Maryland, Northern Virginia, and then that does shift to the north, or kind of that rain snow line does shift to the north as precip goes, kind of as more precip moves in, and we're later into the afternoon as well. So 3 p.m. tomorrow, looking at snow for a good portion of central and northern PA, moving into New York areas like Binghamton, State College, and still continuing in Ohio, by the way, this time. And then we see this moves into now this area here is going to be interesting because we're going to see the low do some funny stuff, okay, in the ocean. So what we're going to see is we're going to see like a lingering band of snow in this area. So 9 p.m. tomorrow, we're seeing had pretty decent snowfall across areas of southeastern New York, northern New Jersey, eastern PA. Temperatures at this time are extremely close to really like being at freezing, which is a little bit of an issue. But other than that, we don't have much of an issue. We're going to be seeing some pretty significant snowfall in some areas. I think actually in that area, some very localized amounts of maybe. I mean, let's just take a look at what the HRRR has. Actually, let's finish talking about what happens after this. So we see it just lingers there, just immediately it stops moving east, and then we just see it's a kind of move into the New York City area, okay, by like overnight, Friday night, and the Saturday morning, and then it sits there for a while, even into snow. I mean, snow is still going on at sunrise, so we do see snow even in the New York City area, and then we see this low kind of swinging, pushing, like I guess ocean effect snow showers or just snow showers into the Boston area. But total snowfall in this area here is pretty interesting. We see a good couple of inches in the New York City area, a good couple of inches in some areas of Long Island. Not really the far eastern part of Long Island, but northern New Jersey. Look at this. I mean, just a good 2 to 3 inches in some areas. And if you're in like a colder spot, maybe up to 4. Same thing as you go into like further west, but a little bit more, maybe 5 to 6, 7 inches, kind of depending on temperatures there. So pretty cool little event, though, to say the least. I'd say, or yeah, to say the least. I mean, it could be bringing some areas that haven't really seen a ton of snow this winter, like New York City, Long Island, some snow. So that'd be good to see. Now moving on to next week. Okay, so this is the storm system we have now. By Saturday afternoon, we see another kind of group of storm systems move into the central U.S. We have this one here, and we will have a severe weather threat Saturday as well, which we're going to talk about later in the video. So, yeah, and then further to the north, we can see snow moving in the areas of Iowa, Minnesota, and then the northeast is a little interesting though, because we see another low kind of break off and then swing into the northeast pretty much and bring like a little winter storm to like Boston there. That's pretty cool. Now the Euro I think is pretty different compared to the GFS. Actually no, the Euro's not. Well, so far the Euro's not different. We see a decent couple of inches of like really dry snow, and then far northern plains. Then in the upper Midwest, you see a couple of inches of snow as well. Really light snow, not organized. And then even into Ohio, we start off with snow Sunday morning. But we got to go back to the 12s to go out far enough. So the Euro has this system slamming the northeast with snow, absolutely. I mean, that's pretty much what we see. Monday afternoon, starting to see some snow, and then does it actually bomb out? Let's see, so 995 to 969. That does. I mean, that has a really impactful storm system. This isn't even a week out. This is literally like five days out. So I don't understand why we have such a discrepancy between the GFS and the Euro. I know the discrepancy, like just differences between the GFS and the Euro, because that's a pretty significant difference. I mean, the European has like an entire blizzard, and then the GFS doesn't. Now the Canadian, okay, I haven't really looked at the Canadian. Canadian's a little further west, actually. It goes onto land, to low, and then so even coastal areas don't pick up on much. But both of these models have a very significant winter storm. Actually, we do see a lot of snow from that in the northern plains because of the really cold temperatures, which kind of leads to us seeing a lot of snow. Yeah, we see like a lot of like 9 inches in some areas up there. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see some like 8-inch amounts from that, just because of how dry the snow is. We're not going to talk about that too much because we don't have it, but I don't want to make the video too long. But we'll definitely talk about that either tomorrow or Saturday a little more. And then, but yeah, and then in the northeast, okay, just some of these are gonna be, we're already looking at a lot of snow in some areas because of the first system this weekend. But then we just look at that snow in the GFS in the in that area. That's pretty much all new. I mean, that's like 20, 21, and 22 inches of snow there. So I wouldn't really count on that. I wouldn't count on these amounts, but it's starting to. I mean, some of these models are starting to hint at a little winter storm The European's going to be worse probably. Uh, yeah. I mean, the Euro has like an entire, like a pretty significant winter storm actually, like widespread foot 2 feet for a good portion in northeastern PA and the New York there, and even down to the northern New Jersey. So we'll see. I mean, this is very interesting because if the European actually happens, this will pretty this will offset our like the areas in the northeast that haven't really seen any big snows this year. This will kind of offset it if this does happen. But it's still a little bit uncertain. But we are looking at a potentially like large winter storm as we go into next week in that area, or kind of in the New England area. All right, now over to severe weather. So this is our day 3 convective outlook for Saturday. We're looking at a slight risk from eastern Oklahoma over into Arkansas. Just take a look at general kind of environment stuff. So of course pivotal weather is going to be slow, but we really don't have much of I guess a trough to work off of. I mean, we very kind of zonal flow, 500 millibar wind wise, but we zoom in on that area right there. Take a look at things like dew points. Oh yeah, okay, I can see why we have a severe weather threat. Yeah, just clear front right there. Okay, that sounding's not good. Looks like every other sounding we've had in the GFS recently just caps so much. So annoying. I'm tired of these, like the GFS just doing terrible with these. Okay, with this sounding here, it isn't too bad. I mean, I definitely think what we're going to be looking at is probably just mainly mainly with this you'd have a wind threat actually, a wind or like a moderate sized hail threat. I think that's what we're going to be. I don't think we're going to see much of a tornado threat, just due to this not being like I think could see a tornado threat, but I don't think we're like what I mean is I don't think we're going to be seeing like the tornadoes being the biggest problem with this event. But then as we go into day 4, okay, so this is Sunday, we move further east. Let's go ahead and get into the southeast. We can see like Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, right there. That front kind of just dives. And we take a sounding 15Z. Take some soundings. We're looking at very, like the shear profiles are not that great. Really, what we're watching for is just. I mean, judging by the soundings, we're really just going to be looking at severe weather, like probably a damaging wind threat on day 6 or day 4. My bad, not day 6. That'd be Tuesday, I think. But yeah, this is an interesting setup for this time of year. Like these soundings don't look like March Dixie soundings. These kind of just look like, I don't know how to explain it. These look like something that I'd like, other than like the thermodynamics. Okay, like I mean, this just looks like a sounding you get from like a disorganized severe weather event in like the southeast in July. Okay, but an unorganized severe weather event, I guess I should say. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think I think we're going to see higher parameters and stuff than what the GFS is actually showing right now. But I generally don't think we're going to see like a tornado outbreak out of this. I think that's pretty much out of the. It's pretty much like the chance of that's pretty much out. I don't think we're going to be seeing that, just because of kind of we just don't have the shear in place. 18Z Euro. We can take a look at that real quick, or I guess the 12Z. Very similar kind of to the GFS with that front. But yeah, so I hope y'all enjoy the video. We're gonna talk about this a little more as we get into range. Of some of the like shorter range models, like the HRRR, NAM3, and that type of stuff. But yeah, so I hope y'all enjoyed it. I will be back either tomorrow or Saturday. I mean, probably either one of those days, just because I don't really have much going on this weekend. But yeah, goodbye.